I was 2.5, 3 years old. And me and my brother just we was climbing through windows on the building. And the security seen us and called the police. And they took us, and it began from there.
It is not unusual for a parent who is currently involved in the system to have been a child of the system. And that is the case with our client. She first became a parent at a very young age. She wasn't prepared to really take on the full expected role of a parent.
I was 15, didn't know no better. My mom, you gotta keep the baby, she don't believe in abortions. I kept my daughter, and we lived in the home together all the way up till I was grown.
Her mother adopted her children when she was 15. I think at that time she had 2 children between the ages of 15 and 17, both of which were adopted by her mother. Years after she had her first 2 children adopted by her mother, she had another child, and in fact had 2 children in her 30s. She was also involved in a pretty difficult relationship. When her children were approximately 6 and 8 years old, she wound up having an altercation with this gentleman that landed her in prison.
I was in an abusive relationship, and this act actually became as I was being choked out, and I grabbed the object off my dresser, which ended someone's life, not there, but inside the hospital that, I regret every single day of my life. They had put a parent aide in my house to come see me. I completed everything that I was supposed to do for my kids. 9 months later, I got indicted. They came to take me, so they took my kids. I asked for I think it's KOG. They told me I couldn't get it. And I was told that I had to let my kids get adopted.
She was convinced that surrendering her rights was the best thing. It's unclear to me whether or not she was advised on what that meant at the time.
I told him I wanted my kids back when I came home. My attorney and the judge said if anything was to happen with the kids, my rights would go back to me. That's the only reason why I surrendered my rights. I cried. I didn't know what to do, and then I found me an attorney that helped me and guided me through everything, and I didn't give up.
These aren't easy cases to inject yourself into once a parent has their rights have been terminated and a child's been adopted. We're dealing with an individual who currently, because of the process that she'd been through, doesn't have any legal standing. In her situation, we are looking at her as a psychological parent. She was in that parenting role prior to her incarceration. She continued to provide her children with love and support even while she was incarcerated. Post-incarceration, she maintained contact with the children because of the relationship that she had with the adoptive parent, and the children knew her as mother. And then from there, it was the extenuating circumstances of the breakdown in the adoptive home. Our office helped her to prepare pleadings, to file, to get custody, certifications that explained her situation, history, and background.
Even after I got my kids back, I still want to help my family and the justice system, that helping my sister, so she can lose her kids, so I took custody of her kids.
Her life has really come full circle. She went from, being a parent who was persecuted by the system to being a parent who is now, being entrusted by the system with other children. And she's flourishing in that role. She really loves being a parent.
They my nieces, they love me. And I just want, her mom to get herself together and better and be a better mom. Because what was done to me, I would never do to the next person at all.